Hello everybody, this is Doll Dazzler and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys another doll out of my doll collection. This is what I believe to be a bride doll from the mid-50s and mid-60s era. I'm having trouble finding and identifying her from the information that I'm trying to locate her online. And I'm hoping that somebody out there is able to recognize her and help give me some clues as to who she might be and the maker and quite possibly the year that she was made. I think of it as the 50s and 60s just because of the style of the dress and her hairstyle, the type of doll that she is, some of the characteristics of a 50s, 60s doll. So I'm going to show some up close of her and of her dress as well. And I'm not sure if her dress is original or if it's handmade, but it appears that it might be an original to her. I had bought her in an antique store, and it took me quite a few times of going in there before I actually really bought her. I kept seeing her and I really liked her. But I knew that I was going to have trouble identifying her because of the marking that's on her waist, and I will show that to you guys in just a second. She's been a little bit difficult to locate. Now, there's a lot of dolls that look very similar to her from a couple of different companies, and a lot of companies that would be considered, you know, they do like little cheaper type of dolls, and it is quite possible that she is just kind of like somebody's remake of a doll as well. So I'll just go through her clothes first. So she's got this little it's a little veil that's got a little flower on the top. It's very pretty, really cute, over some netting, and you can flip it back. And this is why I think that it's original, is because the stitching on it, it doesn't appear to have stitching from that's homemade. And then in her dress area, this is it's more of like a cloth versus, you know, what you would usually see a wedding dress out of, or a bride's dress that would have satins and silks on it. This is a cloth underneath this really pretty lace, and the lace is not attached to it, it's free from it. It's very pretty, but it's very I don't know, it does have some of the, resembles something of handmade. So I want to show you the stitching as well, and it quite possibly could be manufactured. It's just a little bit well, it's a little bit older. So that's the stitching on the dress, and the lace has got it's a really pretty but very dated pattern on it. So that's why I'm thinking that it's a little bit more going towards the 50s and 60s, the style of the bride dress as well. The back of it is layered netting over the top of that cloth again. It's a very pretty dress. I always really liked seeing her when I went into the antique store, and so then finally one day I just went ahead and I bought her because she just was, I knew she was probably vintage, but I just would run into some problems with trying to figure out who she is. So her head is vinyl, and she's got a joint in her neck. And then her arms are vinyl as well. It's a little bit harder vinyl, but they still are vinyl. And they have a joint in the shoulder. And then the rest of her body, her bodice and her legs, are all a harder plastic. Let's see if I can get that in the camera for you guys. And it's kind of like a cheaper plastic. And so she might just be a doll that was a dress me doll that somebody made into a bride. And then she's got some little pantaloons on. And then her little high heel shoes. I was so happy that she had both of them. Even being what they would consider a dime store doll, back in the day they called them dime store dolls, she still would be considered vintage because, well, that's quite a while ago. and she has definitely lasted really well through time. So I was happy that she had both of her shoes. Those are kind of hard to find, especially since they made so many different kinds of high heel dolls in the 50s and the 60s. A lot of different feet types that they would have to fit. So I was really happy that she had both of her shoes. And on the back, I'm going to show you now her markings. And I'm hoping that I can get this into the camera for you guys so you guys can see that. It's right there on her waist. And it appears to be an A. And it looks like there might be something before the A, or that it might have gotten rubbed off a little bit. But all the companies that I have tried to locate that would have used an A as their marking, they don't match the type of dolls all the way that would have been made, like Allied, and there's a couple of other ones that have Aero Plastics. They don't necessarily, maybe Aero Plastics, but Aero Plastics has their marking is a diamond with an arrow in it. So I know that unless they change their marking, that it's not an arrow doll. So last thing is her hair and her face. Now her hair appears that it might have been cut, and so this gives me the impression that it could just be a doll that somebody had designed to look like a bride and cut it in a particular way, but it is very 50-ish, very 50s, 60s, the style that it is. It's very, very cute, but it does appear to have been cut, but there's no damage to it other than that. So I don't know if it was meant to be that way, if it came that way. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. And then her face, there's no special markings as to who she might be. There's no long eyelashes, no exaggerated eyes, anything like that. She's very, very simple. So she could just be a dime store doll that somebody made over, but I am not for sure. So if anybody out there can help me identify this doll, please leave that in the comments for me. If you guys have a doll that's like this and are willing to share a picture or a video, please leave that in the comments for me as well. Other than that, I'm going to call her the bride of the 50s and 60s. And I look forward to seeing anything that you guys might be able to comment on her to help me look for her name. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in my next video.